Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to another video where I talk about how I work. I thought the response to yesterday's video was really cool, so I am making another video about how I work, and this time it's about how I draw characters. In particular, how I draw characters. Yeah, I thought I would just jump in and show you the beginning to end process of how I draw. As you can see, I've started by just taking out my sketchbook and scanning in a drawing of just this little face, this little interpretation of how I draw myself. As you can see, my scanner has chosen to blow the image out. The contrast's way out. So it looks pretty awful, pretty horrible. So this is, I couldn't post this online. I couldn't post this on Instagram or Tumblr. I'd be ridiculed. I'd be banished from the internet for this. It's a crime. So I would digitize this. I would redraw it digitally. But now that I have my physical drawing as a guideline, it gives me an idea of what I want it to look like. I'm not going to draw it exactly like this because, as you can see, the mouth looks kind of weird and the hair's all messed up. So maybe I'd clean that up a little bit when I go to digitize it. So I do my drawings in Photoshop. A lot of people say, PJ, why don't you use Illustrator when you do stuff you're going to print or post online? And that's the simple answer to that is just because I don't have Illustrator. I know Photoshop. I've used Photoshop for years. So why not use what you know? So I'm going to start by just dragging in my my picture, my scanned-in picture. Cool, so it's just there. It's lovely. But I'm not going to draw in this document. I'm going to make a new document. So I'm going to say new. We're going to call it PJ Face, PJ Sexy Face, and I'm just going to make it like 1,000 by 1,000 pixels. So nice big canvas, and the resolution I set it at 300. RGB color mode. That's fine for if you're going to be just putting it online. If you want to print your artwork like as a poster or something like that, then you want to do CMYK. But we're not going to get into that today because we're not getting into that today. So for this, we're just doing a drawing. Let's just set it RGB. RGB. Do you know what that stands for? Really good burgers. Or red, green, blue. I'm now going to copy and paste in the picture of my face. There we go, look at that. It's lovely, it's beautiful. And I'm just going to scale that up so we can draw it nice and big. The bigger we draw it, the better, because as you see, we're not using vector shapes. If you know what that is, it's essentially just, what's the best way to explain what a vector shape is? So if I take like a shape here, there we go. I just made a box, beautiful box. And then if I take my pen and I do a line, when you zoom in, which one's more pixelated? The vector shape, just there. Oh, wow. Even the arrow is pixelated. Lovely. The vector shape or the line drawing with the pen. So let's just get rid of these. And, oh, great, I've drawn on my original picture. But it doesn't matter because we're not going to be touching this layer again. So now that we've got our original picture, we're going to lock that. Actually, no, we're firstly going to drop the opacity to like 42% and make some new layers. Essentially now, it's just a job of tracing the original image. I like to just take a black pen, nice hard line, 100% hardness, size, just any size you like, and yeah, get drawing. So the way I like to work is to not slowly draw the line like that because it looks weird. That line looks weird compared to this one that's nice and smooth. So let's get rid of that. I like to do my drawings in nice, quick brush strokes like that, and then afterwards, if I feel the need to, I'll clean them up with the eraser tool and redraw them a little bit. But generally, I like to just do nice, swift motions like that. Another thing I should say, if you're using a graphics tablet, you're going to want this up here switched on. This is essentially the brush hardness. Depending on how hard you push the brush, it depends on how hard the line you get. Does that make sense? Did I say that correctly? My Photoshop's crashed. This is great. So I'm going to carry on doing the hair like so. Something like that, I would just leave that and finish that later. If I draw something I actually like, then I just leave it and then correct it later. This is a big contrast to the end wriggle animation I did yesterday, because with that, I didn't really care how it looked, but for this, I'm a little bit more of a perfectionist, and I like to try and make it as precise as possible. Especially if it's something for like a poster or any kind of artwork that I'm going to sell or anything like that. So, okay, we're just going to smooth that off like that. Cool, lovely. What a wonderful, lovely head of hair. Look at that. It's beautiful. Compare that to the original. Ugh, ugly. Horrible, ugly. But then the new, look at that. Ooh, it's beautiful. So That's the hair. I'm now going to move down onto another layer because I feel like I'm being safe if I put them on other layers. There's my little anime cheeks that I like to draw. Go in here. Nope, that's bad. See, I'm rushing that. It doesn't work if you rush it. You got to be smooth. Okay. And now I'm going to go here on another layer and start doing the face. We're going to zoom out a little bit to do the face. Command Z. Command Z is going to be your best friend. Okay, there we go. That looks decent enough. And then I'm going to finish that round like that. Ooh, that's also almost good enough. So I'm going to zoom in there and fill in that little bit there. Lovely. That's beautiful. And then I'm going to go on another layer and finish off the jaw. Finish off the jaw. Come on. Come on. There we go. Okay, so yep, looking nice, looking good. Now another layer. Just going to finish off the features. We've got the nose here, the little weird nose that I like to draw. Kind of looks a bit like a foot. Actually, it might go a bit smaller and do the little features on the nose like this. Little wavy lines. I like the way it looks. And then the mouth. So I clearly messed up the mouth whilst I was drawing it physically. So I'm going to try and correct that a bit now. Try and make it look a little bit cooler using what I've already got as a guideline. So yeah, that's better. And then I'm just going to go in and get rid of that line there because we don't need that. And I'm going to leave that little bit there. And I'm going to go on another layer and give myself some teeth. Just like one long, swift movement. And because that's on another layer, I can take that and just move it around. There we go. Look. Move the teeth around and just delete what I don't want. And I don't have to worry about getting too close to the lines because there's a different layer. So the other mouth lines don't get touched. Cool. So what we've got so far then, if we get rid of that, is a beautiful head. And I'm just going to merge all these layers down with Command E. Just merge them all into one layer. Now it's just one thing. Cool. So next we're going to color it. Remember earlier I was saying that we're not using vectors. Essentially, you can't just take your paintbrush and fill it in. Because although it looks okay to the naked eye, when you start zooming in, you see that it's kind of going around the edges like that. It's not good. It doesn't look nice. Leaves a little gap, leaves a slither of gap, which is not what you want. So let's get rid of that and make some new layers. And let's call this lines. We can get rid of, let's unlock this. We can get rid of this now because we don't need that. We're going to take our magic wand here and we're going to start with the hair. So what I like to do is highlight all the areas that would be one color of hair. If you hold shift, you can select many things at once, which is cool. So again, you don't want to just take your paint bucket and fill in the area. Even though it's on another layer, you're still going to have the problem of the slither of a gap. So what you want to do is go to select, modify, expand, and expand your edges. So if we expand them by 2 pixels, so now if you fill in, guess what? We got rid of that slither. No slither. However, this is going over your lines, which we don't want because it's also still not going to look great. So we're going to drop the hair layer there below the lines. And now, ooh, look at that. We got beautiful, crisp lines. Well, as crisp as they can be considering it's drawn with a pen. So essentially, we're going to do that now for every other element. So face. Let's do the face next. Grab the ear. Yeah, so that's everything there that I want to be another color. So we'll go on another layer there, select another color for the face. Again, don't just fill it in. You want to expand the mask first. So expand by a couple of pixels, fill it in, drop it behind the lines, rename it, face. Cool. Grab the eye, select, modify, expand, expand. Cool. And then go to the eyes, find your eye color, go for a beautiful shade of emerald, drop that below the lines. And we got the nose next. If you want to work sloppy, you could also just do this and then drag that below the lines and, oh, hold on. No, drag that below the face and the lines, and there you go. You got your nose filled in. I'm just going to leave that like that. And then the mouth. Again, maybe you could do a similar thing. Just do that. But you are going to want to fill in the teeth differently because that's weird to have pink teeth. Let's give the 2 different layers. So we've got mouth, and let's do the teeth on a different layer. So give me some nice, shiny, pearly whites. And we're going to color that in just like that. And because it's behind the lines layer, it essentially means that you can't see all of the scruffiness. Essentially, if you got rid of the face, it looks like I've just eaten like a raspberry ice cream and it's just gone everywhere. Messy boy. So that head is now very simply colored in. You can add shadows and colors and detail in any way you like. I'm going to show you a tip that I learned a little while ago. Let's take the mouth here. So if I want to do some more detail, first of all, the color is all wrong. It's the same color as the nose. So let's go to a dark color there. What I would do is make a new layer above that. Hold Alt, and then you see this little box appear just here? Right down here? You see that? And then click. You've got this layer parented to the mouth, and so wherever you color, it only colors there. Look at that. I'm coloring over here, but no, nothing. Instead, it only colors over here. And if you decided you don't like that, you can just get rid of that layer and you've still got the original colors. You don't need to color over the original. So I'm gonna make another there, do it again, and now I'm gonna give myself a little tongue. Perhaps for the nose you want to do something a little bit different. Maybe you want to do some kind of a gradient. Let's go and find a couple of colors. We'll get a pink and a red behind it. Paint bucket, maybe change it to the gradient tool, and essentially you can make a gradient. The layer that's parented to the original one, if you're coloring on that, it'll only go over the original one. When I learned that, it blew my mind because I used to color in a very, very convoluted way, but this is kind of cut down the time I've spent on stuff exponentially. It's amazing. I'm sure there are some Photoshop pros right now that are watching this and they're just like, PJ, that's the simplest fucking thing you could learn. I'm giving some shifty side eyes there, keeping it green. Give myself some shadows behind the eyes, color in the ear, put some shadows down there, a little bit there. Just add in a little bit of random shading. I realize that I'm breaking the laws of what direction the light is coming from, but hey, we don't need to stick to the laws. We don't need to be that person. And cool, that'll do for the hair. Oh, we want to do the eyebrows as well. Give the eyebrows a little bit of detail, some deets, extra deets there. So cool, that's looking all right. That's looking okay. But the black lines on the nose and the cheeks, they're a little bit in your face. They're in his face, but they're also in your face. They stand out a bit too much. So what I would do personally is I would go in and adjust the original line work. So with the technique I just showed you, that makes life a lot easier. So you can make a new layer above the lines, Alt-click, and now, hold on, what's this? What is this? You take your color. If you want to color in the lines, boom, done. No mess, no cleanup. Just look at that. You just color in the lines however you want. So let's do the cheeks. Let's give him some little pink cheeks. So go in, change the line color for the cheeks. Maybe a darker green. Ooh. Mysterious. Look at that. That's a mysterious looking man. He looks insane. Maybe you'd change the line colors for the whole face if you wanted. If you really want to get rid of the black line look, maybe you would do the whole picture. You would do the hair like this, color in all the black lines around the hair. Make it a darker shade of brown. For the purposes of this video, I'm just going to leave the face lines black like that. And there we go. That is how I draw characters. So there is a very quick and rough explanation of how I do it. I usually spend a lot more time on getting all the details and stuff right, and just making sure it's as cleanly drawn as possible. But as a quick little tutorial, that is how I do it. So I hope this has helped. Cool. Thank you very much for watching. This has been PJ on how I work. Stay cool, Tiny Plant Explorers. See you later.